Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that pass! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out! Welcome along to the Commentary Hub's coverage of this big match this afternoon. It's the Carabao Cup final. It's Liverpool against Newcastle taking place at Wembley Stadium, and all your match coverage will be beginning shortly with myself, Wes Vernon, and the Commentary Hub team for this afternoon's clash. Who's going to come out on top in this big game at Wembley today? That's right, guys. Welcome along to the Commentary Hub's coverage of the EFL Cup final. It's Liverpool against Newcastle United today in, as I said, the EFL Cup final, the Carabao Cup final 2025. Liverpool will be playing their 12th Cup game at the new Wembley. This is Newcastle United's second. Liverpool are looking to win their 11th League Cup, the already most successful side in the competition. Newcastle United are aiming to win their first League Cup. This is their second final in 3 seasons. In the Carabao Cup, there have been 6 games that have gone to penalties in the Carabao Cup final. Liverpool been involved in 4 of those, winning 3, losing 1. The last 3 of Liverpool's 4 appearances in the showpiece have been set via a shootout. Cardiff in 2012, Man City in 2016, and Chelsea in 2022. Liverpool are the owners of this competition. They won 1-0 in the extra time against Chelsea last season. Today we've got the commentary duo with us here on the Commentary Hub this afternoon. I'm delighted to say we welcome back Luke Turtle to the commentary hot seat this afternoon, and we've also got Paul James with us as well. Before we bring in Luke ahead of this game this afternoon, let me bring in your match commentator Paul James, who can give us the all-important team changes.
Yes, the 16th appearance at the final for the Giants from Anfield. Record number of appearances in the final. They make 5 changes for this lineup, and the biggest change is Koivin Kelleher steps in goal for Alisson Becker, who drops to the bench. Andrew Robertson is in for Kostas Tsimikas. Gerald Quansah steps in at right back for the injured Trent Alexander-Arnold. Alexis McAllister, Diogo Jota coming for Curtis Jones and Darwin Núñez respectively, who dropped to the bench. Well, for Newcastle, they're chasing their first trophy since 1969. For a domestic trophy, it's even further back than that, 1955. They make no changes from their visit to West Ham, which they won by a 1-0. Back to you, Russ.
Thank you very much this afternoon, Paul. And now we're going to bring in your co-commentator for the first time this afternoon. It's a cup final, so we can't do it with just one commentator. We've got to have it in second. And welcome back to the Commentary Hub hot seat in the commentary chair for Luke Turton. Luke, how are you doing, my friend? Are you looking forward to this one this afternoon?
Yeah, good afternoon, Russ. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one this afternoon.
When you look at this game, look over the 2 sides coming into this competition, obviously we know that Nottingham Forest were one of the victors of Newcastle's route to the competition, and looks looking to win this cup, aiming to win their first League Cup this afternoon up against the Liverpool side, who in recent weeks, especially against PSG, fell to their ways in mid. We lost on penalties, a 1-0 defeat on the night, lost on penalties after winning the first leg 1-0 and dumped out of the Champions League. We're currently top of the Premier League this afternoon, and they could potentially go on to win that. We also cut the gap earlier on today, but looking at Liverpool today, do you think they'll have too much for Newcastle, or do you think Newcastle will come out on top in this afternoon for you, Luke?
Well, looking at both sides throughout the season, Liverpool are impressive all over the field. Newcastle, for me, when I watched them play against Nottingham Forest, were extremely powerful across the midfield. So I think the midfield battle will be incredibly interesting this afternoon. But again, it all depends on how Newcastle adapts without Anthony Gordon on that left-hand side. And also, you're looking at that Liverpool back line with no Trent Alexander-Arnold and Gerald Quansah playing. It really will be interesting on that battle down that side.
Alexander-Arnold, how big a miss do you feel that Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to be for not just Liverpool but England coming up in the international break as well, Luke?
Well, Trent Alexander-Arnold's a massive player going forward. I think he's still got a bit of adapting to do going the other way in defending, but he's great going forward. He's great on set pieces. Liverpool are going to miss him, but it's literally next guy up. And today it falls to Gerald Quansah, so let's see how he goes.
Yes, absolutely. You can see on the screens there your starting lineups, which Paul will give you in full in just a few moments' time as well, and the match officials as well. If I were to press you, Luke, as the teams, unless the teams are in the tunnel roundabout now, ready to kick off in this Wembley Showpiece final this afternoon. If I were to put you on the spot, Luke, and ask for a score prediction for the game which is taking place at Wembley Stadium this afternoon, what is your score prediction going to be, my friend?
It's going to be tight, but I think I'm going to go for a 2-1 Newcastle win within the 90 minutes.
Thank you very much there, Lou. We've had some comments in the commentary in the chat right now. We've got Media Radio, Jingles and Gaming. Friend of the channel says, good afternoon, Russ and the old TC Up team. And I repeat what you just said, who's going to come out on top. We'll find out. Stay tuned and you'll hear who's going to come out on top this afternoon. He also says the best commentary and coverage of the game right here. That is the case. And they're also going to say cup finalism right, just one commentator. And as for you on the channel again, Luke, it has been a while. It has indeed. I just want to let you know, guys, as well, from 6:55 this evening, we'll be bringing you Leicester City against Manchester United in the Premier League as well. So with the teams getting ready to come out of the tunnel at Wembley on to the field of play right now, ahead of what's going to be a big game in the Carabao Cup final or EFL Cup final, whichever you want to call it, as they're just about to go through the handshakes to bring you up today with the full lineups and the match officials ahead of the kick-off. It's time for me to hand over to your match commentary team of Luke Turton. But first, Paul James.
Thank you, Ross. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for this exquisite occasion, a full Wembley Stadium. And, well, Luke, we might as well get on with our first job of the day. That is the team lineup. Starting with Liverpool, Koivin Kelleher in goal. The back four of Andrew Robertson, Ibrahima Konate, Virgil van Dijk, the captain, as usual, Gerald Quansah, Alexis McAllister, Ryan Gravenberch and Dominic Szoboszlai in the midfield, with Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota and Mohamed Salah as the front line. For Newcastle, well, Eddie Howe, as mentioned earlier, was kept with the same side that beat West Ham United by 1-0 in the league last weekend. Nick Pope in goal, Tino Livramento, Dan Burn, Fabian Schär and Kieran Trippier are the back four, with Joel Linton, the Italian Sandro Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes the captain, Harvey Barnes and the prolific Alexander Isak and Jacob Murphy are the starting lineup for Newcastle. The substitutes for Liverpool, well, they've got a strong backup goalkeeper if they need him. Alisson Becker on the bench with Federico Chiesa, Harvey Elliott, Wataru Endo, Cody Gakpo, James McConnell, Curtis Jones, Darwin Núñez and Kostas Tsimikas. For Newcastle, they rely on Martin Dubravka as a backup goalkeeper with Emil Kraft, Sean Langstaff, 18-year-old Lewis Miley, 17-year-old Sean Neve never played for the Newcastle senior team. He could make his debut today in this big occasion. William Asula, Matt Targett, Joe Willock and Callum Wilson are the substitutes. The officials today, well, John Brooks from Melton Mowbray in Leicestershire is our referee. Eddie Smart and Nick Greenhall are on the lines. Fourth official is Darren England, and in VAR, should we need them, is Stuart Atwell and Sean Massey Ellis. Well, Liverpool have won 4 out of 5 of the last 5 games, Luke, and you have to say that regardless of our prediction in this game, they're heavy favourites today, right?
Well, there might be heavy favourites, but Newcastle are going to be no pushovers, to be honest. I've watched a lot of Newcastle this season, and I'd have to admit, they're very powerful, they're very combative, and they won't make it easy for Liverpool this afternoon.
It's 190th meeting between these two sides. The record stands as 94 wins for Liverpool, 45 draws, 50 wins for the Toon, only 23% victory ratio against Liverpool. Let's just take a quick look how both sides got here, starting with Liverpool. They beat West Ham 5-1 at home in the third round. They won away in the South Coast against Brighton in the fourth round 3-2. Southampton in the quarter-final, also down on the South Coast, winning 2-1. In the semi-final, they did lose the first leg at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium 1-0, but 4-0 at Anfield secured their place in the final. For Newcastle, it began with a third-round home victory over AFC Wimbledon with the 1-0 victory, an impressive 2-0 home victory over Chelsea in the fourth round, quarter-final 3-1 home victory over Brentford, and the semi-final, a double 2-0 victory over Arsenal has got them to the final. And, well, the players just gathering round at the centre circle. Liverpool in their red shirts, red shorts and red socks. Newcastle also in their traditional colours in the black and white shirts, black shorts and black socks, as we just wait for the referee to get this game underway. And Luke, how exciting is it for Newcastle, and how desperate do you think Liverpool will be, given the fact that they've just gone out of the Champions League, they're out of the FA Cup? This is their last chance to do the double, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and they'll want to win another trophy alongside the Premier League this season. This is their only real chance now, so they're going to go full throttle and want to get this one in the bag, to be fair.
Yes, well, Liverpool players now just doing their final preparations before this game gets underway. And look at the sea of supporters around Wembley Stadium. The red, the black and white. This is what football is all about right here. As the referees are just, the captain's just shaking hands there, and this game underway shortly. Earlier on today, results from the Premier League for you. Arsenal managed to regain 3 points lead over Nottingham Forest, now at 4-point lead over Nottingham Forest, I should say, with a 1-0 victory over Chelsea. Mikel Morena with the header from a corner gave Arsenal the victory. Fulham, well, they managed to beat Arsenal's North London rival Spurs, piling the misery really on Ange Postecoglou, and the goals there were from Rodrigo Muniz and Ryan Sessegnon. So you're up to date there with the Premier League. In the Championship, in the Steel City Derby, Sheffield United came out victories with a victory 1-0 at Hillsborough. We're about to get underway here now. We're just waiting for the referee's whistle. And Liverpool will be attacking the goal to our left here at Wembley Stadium, as Alexis McAllister gets the game underway. He drops it straight back to Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk clears the ball over the halfway line. Looking to win that header is Mohamed Salah. It bounces to Alexis McAllister, who plays the ball forward, and it's headed out of play by Big Dan Burn. And it's a throw-in for Liverpool early on, midway inside the Newcastle half of the field. And in the fact, they go all the way back to their own goalkeeper, throwing it back to Kanate. He goes back to Kelleher, who launches it downfield. Header in the air by Fabian Schär, and a foul there by Diogo Jota. And it's a free kick for Newcastle. Already, Liverpool looking to put on the early pressure.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'd expect, to be fair. Liverpool wanted to go at this early on after disappointment in the week. I thought that was a bit of a soft free kick, to be honest. Shaw's massive, Jota's tiny. Shouldn't really be going down like that.
Well, the free kick will be taken by Kieran Trippier. It's midway inside his own half of the field. It looks like the England international's going to go long. Up in the air and winning that is Ibrahima Konate. Flicked on there by Salah. It's a bit scrappy early on here. Sandro Tonali puts his foot on the ball and gives it to Guimaraes. It's across to Fabian Schär, and he drops the ball back there. It's now played forward there by Jacob Murphy, looking for Alexander Isak, but it's cleared out of play by Andrew Robertson. And, well, just how much of a threat is Alexander Isak going to be for Liverpool this season? What a season he is having. And at 19 goals, Luke, you have to say he's going to be a threat to Liverpool today, isn't he? Just before you give me your thoughts on that, here's Jacob Murphy, gets the cross in. It's flicked up in the air. Bruno Guimaraes trying to win in it. It's headed out by Alexis McAllister. Forward to Dominic Jobbersley. Jobbersley drops the ball back there to Gerald Quansah. Picked up by Gravenberch. Gravenberch plays the ball over the halfway line and down to Luis Diaz. Diaz down the left-hand side now, trying to get to the byline. He's under pressure there. That's really good work by Kieran Trippier. He goes down under the pressure there. I think the referee has given a free kick for the foul by Luis Diaz. So yes, how big of a threat is Alexander Isak going to be for Liverpool today, and how do you think they're going to manage him?
He's going to be a massive threat. I mean, I'd say that Isak's the all-round striker. He can do a bit of everything. He can head it, he can run at players, he's got pace. So he's going to be a real threat today. And I think they're just going to have to make sure their positioning's on point with Van Dijk and Konate to get in front of Isak.
Well, the free kick was taken quickly by Nick Pope, won comfortably by Virgil van Dijk. Newcastle still have possession. It's Jacob Murphy down the right-hand side. Launches the ball into the middle, and just trying to get on the end of that was Harvey Barnes. And it looked like it just bounced off his foot and went wide. But you have to say that's a half chance for Harvey Barnes, Luke.
Yeah, it's a great ball from Murphy, and I think it was just stretching from Harvey Barnes. I think if it was more into his chest, he'd be able to chest that down and ping it towards the corner. But yeah, it just bounced off him and was stretching too far.
Koivin Kelleher clears the ball downfield, looking for Mo Salah, being manhandled strongly there by Dan Burn. The ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Newcastle. Comment in the comment section by Media, Radio, Jingles and Gaming. Always nice to see support from both sides to make Wembley red and white the beauty of football. And that's it. If you cannot get up for a game like this, you are in the wrong sport. And Joel Linton just trying to win the ball back there, but it goes out of play again. And once again, Tino Livramento is going to go with the throw-in. It's just inside the Liverpool half of the field. He drops it to Isak, picked up again by Livramento. He goes down under the challenge there from McAllister, and it's going to be a free kick. Perhaps a little soft there on Tino Livramento. Let's have a look. Well, he just catches him. And Livramento goes over. It's going to be a free kick. McAllister protests, but the free kick has been given by our referee today, John Brooks. And what a day it is for him as well. And the free kick is going to be taken over on the left-hand side. I'd say it's about 10 or 15 yards outside the penalty area. Kieran Trippier has immediately gone over. Dan Burn, Alexander Isak, Bruno Guimaraes all in the penalty area looking to cause mayhem. It's going to be Kieran Trippier, played short to Barnes. A quick 1-2 to Harvey Barnes again. Can he get the cross in, Barnes? Oh, and it's knocked behind by Ryan Gravenberch as Newcastle coming up with the early pressure as well now. And it just seems to me, Luke, that Newcastle, with their crisp passing, is just starting to look the more threatening side.
Liverpool seemed asleep from that set piece. I mean, it was great short play, and then the interchange between Barnes and I think it was Gimaresh in the middle there. It was interesting. It opened them up a bit.
Kieran Trippier with a corner down the left-hand side. Callagher comes up for it, doesn't get much on the fist. It's cleared away. Only as far there as I was trying to see who that was. He's chasing it back now, but cleared away by Nick Pope. I wasn't sure who that was at the back there for Newcastle, possibly Fabian Schär. Here is Andrew Robertson now for Liverpool, just trying to get away from Sandro Tonali. It goes down along with a clash from Tonali and Trippier. Tonali and Trippier there just sandwiched Andrew Robertson. Became the sub of the day. Look at this, Luke. It looks like they both got in the way there. Just, yes, completely made a meal out of him, didn't he?
Yeah, I'd agree it's a free kick. I mean, Trippier came across and blocked him. Tonali was on the wrong side anyway. Robertson was getting away. Experience from Trippier. He knew what he was doing, even though he complained about it afterwards.
Well, the free kick is going to be taken down the left-hand side. It's a couple of yards in from the touchline. Standing over this is Alexis McAllister and also Andrew Robertson. Alexis McAllister steps away. Robertson is going to take it. No, it is in fact McAllister. He swings it in, but it's a disappointing ball through to Nick Pope. And Nick Pope clears the ball quickly downfield, but Ryan Gravenberch just deals with that before Livramento can get away. And that's a disappointing ball by McAllister, as it would have worked. You can see it was a training ground manoeuvre, but it was a very disappointing ball by McAllister.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, that was looking more towards the back post, but he just got too much underneath it, and it was more curled towards the keeper. Too much on it.
Well, here's Diaz for Liverpool. He just drops it back to McAllister. McAllister flicks it on there to Ryan Gravenberch. Gravenberch going long, looking for Mo Salah. I don't think even the Egyptian king is going to make that. And it goes behind for a goal kick. Just too far away. The passing approach and their build-up play for Liverpool, just not quite there. They're just not quite connecting in the same way that Newcastle are, Luke.
Yeah, I think the trouble is, at the minute, Liverpool are trying to force it too much. They're not relaxed. They're not playing it how they'd usually play, probably due to the midweek clash against PSG. But Newcastle don't really have that trouble, so they can play the natural game. I think Liverpool have feeling the pressure a bit early on.
Well, it's back into the Liverpool half of the field. Media, radio, jingles and games says, well, I know the match has just kicked off, but I think Newcastle will win this game. I just see a shock on the horizon this afternoon, and Newcastle did lose at this stage 2 years ago against Manchester United. So we'll just see how it plays out, though. Certainly Newcastle, in my opinion, looking more threatening of the two sides. Kelleher just clears the ball downfield, looking to try to win that ball in the air there. Was Robertson. It just bounced down in the end to Ibrahima Konate. Konate plays the ball long, looking for Mo Salah. Dan Burn is watching Salah, and that's a good piece of defending by Big Dan Burn, who has just been called up to the England squad with Thomas Tuchel, and personally I think that's long overdue. I'll get Luke's thoughts on that in a moment, but here's Livramento now for Newcastle. He was pulled back by Ryan Gravenberch, and that's surely going to be a free kick and possibly the first yellow card. Nope, it's just going to be a free kick, I think. Your thoughts on Dan Burn being picked for the England squad, Luke?
Yeah, very long overdue. I think a couple of seasons ago I was calling for it. It's nice for Tuchel to recognise one player that's in form.
The free kick is going to be taken just over the halfway line, and it's going to be Kieran Trippier. Just inside the Liverpool half of the field, both sides noisy, both sets of fans noisy at the moment, as it's a long ball by Trippier over to Fabian Schär. Schär, well, he got caught between passing and shooting. Actually wasn't that far wide. Had Kelleher scrambling across, but he just caught between the pass and the shot there, didn't he?
Yeah, I'd like to see that again, to be honest, because a decent ball across, I'm going to see it now. Decent ball across clearly worked on the training ground, and yeah, he just tried to fire it and didn't really get much curl on it. And from that angle, you need to put it across the goal anyway, not towards the near post.
Well, here's Kanate. Gives the ball to Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa, short pass there. Dominic Jobberslide just making it sure it goes back to Kanate. Dangerous play, knocking the ball around on the edge of their own penalty area like this. It is played forward and goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. Looking for Diogo Jota up there. But getting in the way of that was Tino Livramento. And the throw-in is going to be taken by Kwanzaa. It's about 15 yards inside his own half of the field. Just down that right-hand side, for as far as Liverpool are concerned. The ball is thrown forward, and it looks like Diogo Jota just tried to get a hold of the ball by heading it on, but there was nobody there. And now Newcastle have the ball, and it's Dan Burn, and he gives it to Kieran Trippier. Trippier tries to play the ball forward, taking it in the midriff there is Luis Diaz. And he's fine, but never a pleasant place to catch the ball. Throwing now to Newcastle, which Kieran Trippier is going to take. Gives it to Guimaraes. Guimaraes drops it back to Dan Burn. And that's Fabian Schär goes long there, headed down comfortably by Virgil van Dijk. Gives it to Robertson. And across to Diaz. Diaz to Gravenberch in the centre of the park. Across to Kanate. Robertson plays the ball forward there, looking for Alexis McAllister. That comes off Kieran Trippier and goes out of play for a throw-in to Liverpool. Scrappy play by Liverpool early on in this game, but it's very early to really start saying where this game is going to go. Koivin Kelleher now has the ball. He clears the ball downfield. Looking to win that header is Joel Linton. Picked up by Bruno Guimaraes. Guimaraes in the centre of the park. Oh, he almost played that ball through for Harvey Barnes, but wide awake there was Virgil van Dijk intercepting that. Newcastle still have the ball with Trippier. Here's Murphy. Murphy plays the ball forward, looking for Sandro Tonali. Tonali is being held there by Jobberslide, surely. The referee says no. Liverpool have possession now with Andrew Robertson, and he goes back to the goalkeeper, Koivin Kelleher. Kelleher releases it to Van Dijk, to Andrew Robertson. Robertson plays the ball forward into the centre of the park, and just putting his foot on the ball there is Luis Diaz. Finds Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa down to Salah, down the right-hand side. Salah tries to play the ball through, it breaks loose, and it's picked up here by Harvey Barnes, but Liverpool almost winning the ball back, fighting to keep possession, and in fact, an offside flag has gone up, and Liverpool just attempting once again to try to press Newcastle and create some chances, Luke.
Yeah, it was interesting on that move that Diaz came across from this near side, across to the far side, and linked up with Salah. And then I think Newcastle just crowded him out. I've been impressed so far with Tonali and Joel Linton in there, being a bit combative against the Liverpool midfield. They're winning the balls and their height's proving a bit more of an advantage.
Well, there's Eddie Howe just looking on the iPad. Joel Linton just chests the ball down. It wasn't the greatest control, but he maintains possession. Gives it back to Dan Burn. Burn lifts the ball forward looking for Barnes. Joel Linton just getting in the way of that again. And it's picked up by Livramento. Wonderful challenge by Kwanzaa. But the ball breaks loose for Newcastle. And here's Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy with a shot, but well, it might have been a better option to go to Kieran Trippier, who was overlapping down the right-hand side. But a shot over the bar by Jacob Murphy.
I mean, why? Why have the shot from there when you've got Trippier coming on the outside clean through? Why?
Well,
Yeah.
perhaps he didn't see him, but that certainly would have been the better option to have gone for Trippier, I felt, in that situation. Trippier let him know about it anyway. And the goal kick is taken by Van Dijk to Koivin Kelleher, who just launches the ball downfield. It's back into the Liverpool half of the field, and dealing with it is Andrew Robertson, but he's given the ball away. And here's Trippier now down the right-hand side to Jacob Murphy. Oh, Murphy's back heel was poor. It goes straight to McAllister, and now Liverpool can break. It's 5-on-4 if they hurry, but they've slowed right down. Gerald Quansah choosing not to engage. And here's Gravenberch. Passes into the centre circle to Alexis McAllister. McAllister down the right-hand side now to the number 7, Luis Diaz. Into McAllister again, back towards the centre circle to Van Dijk. It's with McAllister. Van Dijk again across the halfway line to Ibrahima Konate. Konate down the right-hand side to Mohamed Salah. Picked up there by Gravenberch, who drops it back into his own half of the field. And on the ball there now is Ibrahima Konate. Good ball forward to the number 11 there, Mohamed Salah. Liverpool just knocking the ball around, keeping possession, maybe just trying to calm things down, Luke. Here's Konate. Konate over the halfway line to Mohamed Salah. Down the right-hand side, he's got Livramento and Barnes in front of him. Drops it back to Rob Gravenberch, who gives it to McAllister. Across to Virgil van Dijk now, midway inside the Newcastle half of the field, sends it down the left-hand side. And here's Diaz. Quick 1-2 there with Andrew Robertson. Diaz again, gives the ball to McAllister. Under pressure from Guimaraes. Good challenge there by Joel Linton. And now Newcastle looking to break away with Sandro Tonali. He's fouled and it's going to be given as a free kick. It might have been better to have played the advantage there. Luke, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think he might have already given it before Tonali actually came round the side, but yeah, advantage probably would have been better in that scenario.
Well, the free kick will now be taken. Joel Linton just moving forward. The Brazilian with the white hair today. Shouldn't be too easy, shouldn't be too difficult to spot. The ball is cleared downfield. Looking for Joel Linton. Joel Linton just getting ahead of Quansah and keeping possession. Well played. Livramento drops it back to Tonali. Tonali back to Joel Linton again. Gets the cross in and plucked out of the air by Koivin Kelleher. He releases it quickly. And now Liverpool are on the break. It's dropped to Andrew Robertson, to Luis Diaz. McAllister. Back to Robertson down that left-hand side. He drops the ball back towards the centre to Virgil van Dijk, and it's picked up by Gravenberch. Gravenberch, still 0-0 in this League Cup final between Liverpool and Newcastle. We've had almost 19 minutes on the clock here. Here's Konate. Across to Quansah. Quansah goes all the way back to Koivin Kelleher. And Van Dijk releases it now to Robertson, who launches it down the left-hand side, looking for Luis Diaz. Well dealt with by Kieran Trippier there. Just heads the ball straight back to Nick Pope in the Newcastle goal. And Dan Burn just plays it across there to Fabian Schär. Schär goes long, looking for the header there of Virgil van Dijk. It's found that header. And it's picked up by Andrew Robertson. Robertson over the halfway line now, down the left-hand side to Luis Diaz. Can he keep the ball in? He does well there. Diaz just turns away from Jacob Murphy. Launches the ball into the middle there to McAllister. McAllister off to Gravenberch. Konate. It's Gravenberch again. Back to Konate. Konate across to Mo Salah. Plays the ball forward looking for Jobeslai. Jobeslai plays the ball into the middle, but it's dealt with comfortably by Fabian Schär. And that was very, very easy for the Swiss international. It's out for a throw-in. The throw-in is taken quickly. And it's back into the centre circle to Virgil van Dijk. Across to Gravenberch. Gravenberch holds the ball up. This is an extended piece of possession by Liverpool. Robertson launches the ball into the middle. It's just knocked down, looking for Diaz there. By Jobeslai, but it's picked up instead now, and Newcastle can come forward. And Jacob Murphy plays the ball across to Bruno Guimaraes. Guimaraes now holding on well. He tries to play the ball through to Isak, but it comes off Virgil van Dijk and will be a corner. And you have to say, Luke, this may be a game of who catches who on the break. Both sides very, very quick from one end of the pitch to the other.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Newcastle are looking more like they know what they're doing going forward. I think Liverpool are a bit disjointed at the moment. They're trying to move the ball too fast. I've been impressed with the amount of blocks coming in, though, from the Liverpool back line. I just think that Newcastle look a bit more on it at the moment.
Well, it's Jacob Murphy with the corner down the right-hand side. Looks like he's going to outswing this one. He goes short, in fact, to Isak, back to Murphy, and Isak is alleged to have fouled Andrew Robertson. He doesn't agree with that, but then again, do they ever? It's a free kick now to Liverpool. And as we take a look there, and I think you can see there, that's one of the Anton Deck, if I remember correctly. I've not been... Yes, there they are. Big Newcastle United fans, of course. And, well, there's Alan Shearer there as well. Of course, never able to win a major trophy with Newcastle. Won his Premier League title with Blackburn Rovers. It's cleared down the field by Cloyden Kelleher. The header comfortably won there. And headed on again by Alexis McAllister. Finally, Joel Linton puts his foot on the ball. Drops it back to Trippier, who gives it back to the goalkeeper, Nick Pope. Clears the ball downfield. Alexander Isak jumping up with Van Dijk. Van Dijk winning it easily. Van Dijk again winning that one, heading the ball forward. Looking for Jota. Dan Burn just getting the header on to Trippier, and Trippier heads it back to the goalkeeper. As mentioned by Ross Vernon at the top of the show, right after this, we'll be bringing you Leicester City versus Manchester United at the King Power Stadium. Russ will be delivering that one for you. It's cleared downfield and headed out of play by Ryan Gravenberch. Might have even come off Joel Linton last. The throw-in has been given to Liverpool. And Gerald Quansah is going to take it. Quansah throws it down quickly to Jobberslai. It's back with Quansah again. Quansah beats two. Well played. That's a really good run by Quansah, but Sandro Tonali finally stops him in his tracks, and it goes all the way back to Dan Burn. Dan Burn going for the long ball, and it's won there by Konate, headed on in fact by Harvey Barnes. Here's Barnes again now. Barnes plays the ball through to Isak. Isak at the byline, just inside the left side of the penalty area. It's pulled back to Tonali. Is he going to have a shot here, Tonali? He does indeed. It whistles wide. Oh, well, that's a first effort on goal in anger, really, Luke. And it wasn't a million miles away, was it?
No, it wasn't. And that was an impressive play, to be fair, from Barnes to Isak, and then pulled it back to Tonali. And I think maybe a bit of a calmer strike would have probably have found the corner. There wasn't enough curl on it. It was a decent enough strike, but it just went past the post.
On target, and Kelleher wasn't getting there, that's for sure. It's a free kick to Liverpool. And Dan Burn just goes back into his own half, assumes his position. Jason Tindall and Eddie Howe just having a conversation on the far side there as well. Here's Ibrahima Konate. He's going to go long, looking for Luis Diaz, who's surely in an offside position there, and Kieran Trippier cleans up anyway and heads it back to Nick Pope. And here's Trippier again, looking for Fabian Schär. Schär lifts the ball forward to Jacob Murphy. He's onside, and Murphy gets to the byline. Can he get the cross in? Oh, and that's good play by Ibrahima Konate, because he had to get that right, because right behind him there was Alexander Isak, Luke.
Yeah, he had to get there. That's a great run by Murphy and a decent ball across, and Konate had to get there because Isak was about to pounce.
Well, I have to be honest, Jacob Murphy actually looked offside there, and the corner has been given, but there'll be some questions asked if this goes in from the corner, because it did look like Jacob Murphy had just strayed slightly offside, but Kieran Trippier is going to take the corner on the left-hand side, and it's swung in to the back post. Heads go up by Dan Burn. It's bouncing around there. Real chance for Guimaraes, but that's good goalkeeping. by Coivin Kelleher. He just smothered that. The cross came in. It was all the way to the back post, headed on by Dan Burns. Guimaraes, tight angle for him, but really good work by the young Irish keeper. And now Liverpool are on the break. And it's Andrew Robertson down to Luis Diaz. Diaz cuts back to McAllister. McAllister launches the ball in. It's headed up into the air by Livramento. Headed on by Harvey Barnes and out of play. It's going to be a throw in to Liverpool. Dominic Szoboszlai is going to take it midway inside the Liverpool half, the Newcastle half of the field. It's thrown back to Ibrahima Konate. He's on the halfway line now. And he's just slowing it down a bit. Plays the ball across to the number 4, Virgil van Dijk. That's a good ball there to Diogo Jota. Jota holds the ball up. And he just gives the ball to Gravenberch, who drops it back to Van Dijk. Across to Konate, right along this halfway line. It's Joel Quansah. Back to Konate. As Liverpool now just maintaining possession. Simple passing. Oh, they've given the ball away. And it's Konate that did it. But he comes back and wins the ball back brilliantly there. Well played by Konate after giving the ball away. And what would have been an extremely dangerous situation, Luke.
Yeah, I think it was actually Quansah that gave it away because Konate played it back to Quansah and they got a bit mixed up between the two of them on what was going to happen. They're a bit too close to each other, and if it wasn't for Konate getting round the side, they'd have been straight in on goal. So Konate was quick to read the danger after that mix-up.
The ball's up in the air. It's won by Dan Burn, and he heads the ball out of play. We've had 27 minutes gone here, and it's Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0 in this League Cup final. Both sides trying to create opportunities. We've really only had the one effort, which was just wide, but you can see both sides trying to create chances, but both defences holding up really well. And that's a challenge and a foul on Luis Diaz by Kieran Trippier, who's arguing now with the referee. And John Brooks sending him on his way, but the free kick is going to be taken for Liverpool. It's about 40 yards from goal, midway inside that Newcastle half of the field. And you can see Robertson and McAllister are over it again. John Brooks is just asking them to hold on for a moment while he prepares his white paint. And Szoboszlai just going over there and having a word. It seems to be left to Andrew Robertson. And Robertson is going to launch this ball. It's a high line by Newcastle on the edge of the area. It's swung in and headed away there by Fabian Schär. Only as far as Mohamed Salah by the corner flag. And he'll just let that roll behind for a Liverpool corner. Well, Mo Salah, we all know what he's capable of. He's got a number of goals this season for Liverpool. For Mo Salah, he's sitting on 27 goals. His performance this season has been absolutely outstanding. We know he's capable of it, and he's a huge threat to Newcastle today. Anyway, the corner's going to come in here now, and it's Andrew Robertson swing it in and headed out by Joel Linton. Back as to Robertson again. Robertson just trying to get away there from Jacob Murphy, but Jacob Murphy gets the touch and puts the ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in to Liverpool. Dominic Szoboszlai, is he just going to leave it for Joel Quansah? It looks like that's going to be the case. And the throw-in is taken quickly. It's back to Ibrahima Konate. Played forward. Oh, it's won there by Tino Livramento. It's a poor ball in the end, but now maybe Newcastle can break. And it's a good ball by Fabian Schär, looking for Jacob Murphy. But that's a good, comfortable header by Virgil van Dijk. Just drops it down to Robertson. It's a ball through to Murphy. Pope meets him, and it's offside anyway. But that was a really good idea by Liverpool, just catching the Newcastle defence cold there. And, well, just bad timing on the run by Diaz. But other than that, he'd have been in there, but met him well, did Nick Pope, Luke.
Yeah, I think Diaz needed to time his run a little better because I don't even think he needed to go a step too far. He's got the pace to get round Trippier anyway. But it was decent by Nick Pope to come out. Although, could have been a foul if it wasn't offside.
It's cleared downfield, and chasing this one is Harvey Barnes. Joe Kwanzaa dealing with that very well. And Kanate again, just trying to get the ball. Sandro Tonali's won the ball back and wins a corner in the process. Ibrahima Kanate going over and helping Joe Kwanzaa there. But once again, Newcastle pressing that Liverpool defence. This time, good work by Ibrahima Kanate, giving away the corner kick. And it's going to be another corner for Newcastle. Let's see if they can make one of these opportunities count. Going into the 6-yard box is Joel Linton and Dan Burn. Dan Burn's a threat, obviously. Bruno Guimaraes lurking around the edge of the area. It's going to be Trippier. Swings the ball in and headed out. Only there as far as Tonali. Tonali drops the ball back to Trippier, swings the ball in again. Oh, it's missed by Koivin Kelleher. And it goes behind in the end with Dan Burn putting the young Irish keeper under pressure, Luke.
Decent pressure again, that, and a decent ball into the box. I think, to be honest, Dan Burn was just a bit too far behind Kelleher. But, yeah, decent enough chance.
Well, Eddie Howe has got to be happy with his side's performance in his first half so far. Kelleher clears the ball downfield. Oh, it's headed on by Diaz, who looks in absolute pain. He's rolling around there. Let's take a look at this now. Oh, Diaz is not happy. It looks like he was caught. I'd like to see this again. Van Dijk helps him out, and now he seems fine. And the referee is going to have a word with Kieran Trippier. Bruno Guimaraes is really the only person who should be able to speak to the referee and question the decision. Those are the rules. Kieran Trippier is trying to push Guimaraes away, but he's not in a position to do that. Anyway, let's take a look at it again. It goes up. There's nothing in that, is there? There's nothing in that. Look at Diaz. What's that all about? There's nothing in that whatsoever, Luke.
Of all the ones that Trippier's done in this game, that's probably the most tamest of the lot.
Well, the ball rolls behind for a goal kick, and Trippier getting a warning from John Brooks. I suspect not for that particular challenge, but more for the few he's done before then. Perhaps John Brooks letting him know that that's it, the next one you're going in the book. It's a goal kick to Newcastle anyway, and it's Nick Pope who is going to take it. Arnie Slot, looking calm as ever. Could win the title in his first season with Liverpool. It's certainly looking like that's the way it's going to be. Here's Murphy. Spread it out to the right-hand side, and it's Harvey Barnes now for Newcastle. Harvey Barnes cuts inside. He's got Kwanzaa ahead of him. He still gets a cross in. And here's Isak with a header. Oh, it's blocked. Comes back to Trippier, and it's blocked again by Robertson. A good piece of defending by the Scottish international, Luke.
Two absolutely magnificent blocks, to be fair, from Robertson. He had to do both of them there. The first one from Isak with a header, and then the second one from Trippier. That he had to get there, otherwise that was going towards the goal.
Well, it's going to be a corner to Newcastle, this time from the right-hand side. And Kieran Trippier is going to take this one. Jacob Murphy has been taking the ones before that, but it's going to be Trippier now. Towards the back post, headed on by Burns. Oh, and it's a comfortable save by Koivin Kelleher in the end. But it's really the first effort on target by either side in this first half, Luke.
Yeah, header on by Burn. Well, it was flicked actually by Guimaraes in the end. There's a flick there afterwards, which probably took the power off it. But why is McAllister on Dan Burn?
It's a good question. There's certainly a height difference there, isn't there? The free kick. It's going to be a throw into Newcastle, and Kieran Trippier is going to take it, and he's found Sandro Tonali. Tonali just taking the ball further away from Diogo Jota. And now the ball is played to Timo Livramento down the right, the left-hand side. Here is Joel Linton, tries a fancy back heel. It eventually gets to Livramento, but it's knocked out of play by Jarrell Quansah, and it's going to be a throw-in. We've got 10 minutes to go until half-time. 7 attempts by Newcastle, 2 on target. Liverpool have had no attempts on target in this, or no attempts at all in this game so far. I think that speaks to what we were saying earlier about Newcastle looking the more threatening side, Luke.
Yeah, I was going to make the point about that at half time if it carried on, that Newcastle have had all the attempts. I can't remember one from Liverpool, and the stats show it. But they just look more dangerous, and I think as this goes on, Newcastle are going to probably become the more likely to score.
Well, Kieran Trippier's got a free kick now. It's about 7 yards inside from the touchline, down the left-hand side. It's swung in by Trippier. Van Dijk is going to win that header comfortably, but he only heads it as far as Murphy. Murphy launches it to Joel Linton, and it's launched again into the box, but it's blocked, and now perhaps Liverpool can break away. Jacob Murphy heads the ball back. Diaz challenging for it, so is Pope. The header wasn't a very good one by the England backup goalkeeper. And the ball is played forward now, looking for Alexander Isak. As just for a moment there was a little bit of chaos in the Newcastle defence. And that's won by Murphy. And now here's Guimaraes. Guimaraes, long ball over onto the left-hand side. Oh, the header is comfortably won by Quansah. And now he's coming forward. Now is Jarrell Quansah. He's got Joel Linton alongside him. Joel Linton comes in and wins the challenge. And here's Dan Burn. Dan Burn just gets away and as the referee given a free kick. Looks like he has. Joel Linton not happy with that. And it didn't look much in it, but let's take a look. Quansah just getting across. It looked like it was pretty much a 50-50. Both sides. It was more 6-1, half a dozen than the other, really, wasn't it? I didn't see much of a free kick in that.
I'm not sure how that was given as a free kick, to be honest. I actually said at the time, get up when Joel Linton went down, but evidently John Brooks is giving majority of things as a free kick in this game, so no surprise there.
Well, Newcastle fans are on their feet and have been pretty much since about 20 minutes before kick-off. Kieran Trippier just holding the back of his leg there. That doesn't look too good. And the free kick was given in favour of Joel Linton, in fact. It's cleared downfield. And the header, Joel Linton flattened this time, but no free kick given. And the header is won by Fabian Schär, or perhaps the referee has just stopped play now because of the clashing of heads. Well, they're both down. Luke, why don't you give us a bit of an assessment on this first half so far?
Yeah, but firstly, that's more of a free kick than the one he actually gave, to be honest. I mean, he gets flattened. But yeah, I think Liverpool have looked out of sorts, to be honest. And I think the problem is there isn't that player they can play up to. They're all kind of playing as an interchange. And nobody wants to take responsibility to take the game forward from a Liverpool point of view. They look okay in the midfield. I think Newcastle are winning it a bit more in midfield. They've had a lot more chances, Newcastle. They're just lacking that final ball. And I think, really, if Liverpool want to progress further in this game, they're going to have to look at getting the ball forward a lot more, creating a bit more, and really trying to find a way to break through this powerful kind of square in the middle of the Newcastle midfield and defence of Schär, Burn, Tonali and Joel Linton.
Well, the game's back underway and it's a long ball played there by Salah looking for Luis Diaz. Can Diaz get the better of Trippier? Diaz claiming for handball, but no other Liverpool players appealing. It's cleared away to Joel Linton. Can he play the ball forward here? He finds Isak. Isak gives the ball away there to Ryan Gravenberch. It's now back with Van Dijk, and Van Dijk playing the ball forward, looking for Diogo Jota. And you mentioned there was a lack of a target man for Liverpool. Do you see maybe at half-time Darwin Núñez coming on?
Not at half time. I don't think Slot's going to do it that early. But I think the longer the game stays at 0-0, I'd say the more likely Darwin is to come on. I just think, to be fair, it's a little bit same. If you get through Szoboszlai, McAllister and Gravenberch, then you've just, the ones further forward, they all seem to be a little bit much of a muchness.
Here's Gravenberch. Plays the ball forward there to Jota. Jota trying to play through Diaz, but the ball's a little bit too far ahead of him, and it goes straight through to Nick Pope. As we've got 4 minutes left in this first half of this League Cup final at Wembley Stadium. It's Liverpool 0, Newcastle United 0, and well, it's been really a game of possession versus chances, and Newcastle have certainly had the better of the chances. And it's headed on by Tonali there, but he only manages to find Quansah. Quansah lifts the ball forward. Dan Burn heads it down here to Livramento. Livramento forward here to Barnes. Barnes drops the ball back there to Dan Burn. Across to Fabian Schär. Schär holds the ball up. He's got Murphy and Trippier waiting there. Decides to go for a more creative approach to Tino Livramento. And Livramento has got Quansah in front of him. Coming back to help him is Szoboszlai. Good ball in there by Livramento, but it just gets ahead of Alexander Isak. And, well, just the ball just away from the dangerous Swede there, Luke. It was a really good ball into the box, but Isak just not able to make it.
Yeah, I think both balls from Schär to Livramento in towards Isak were great balls. I just don't think Isak read the ball coming in quick enough.
Kelleher clears the ball downfield. Winning that ball in the centre circle there is Kieran Trippier. Joel Linton just drops the ball back to Fabian Schär. Across to Livramento, and Newcastle breaking down the left-hand side. Here's Harvey Barnes. Cut into the corner of the penalty area. Tries to get the cross in, but that is a really good block by Ryan Gravenberch, and it's going to be a throw-in to Newcastle United, level with the Liverpool penalty area down the left-hand side. And it's Tino Livramento who is going to take this throw-in. Drops it there to Joel Linton again, back to Livramento. Livramento plays the ball across there to Dan Burn and back to Trippier. Trippier goes all the way back to Nick Pope. Nick Pope going long, looking for the chase in Alexander Isak, but Virgil van Dijk dealing with that very well. And there's Sandro Tonali, gets the ball out to the right-hand side to Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy's cross is a long one, but it's away from everybody. Harvey Barnes is never going to make that, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Whilst Newcastle have had chances a lot of the time, Luke, the ball at the time when you need it to be right just hasn't been there, has it?
No, that's the only criticism I have so far of Newcastle. The final balls in are not meeting the desired outcome. And I'd say that's what they need to look at improving going further in this game, because the build-up play is nice. They look more comfortable on the ball. Guimaraes and Tonali and Joe Linton are more or less controlling that midfield, stopping Liverpool settling. And I'd say the only trouble you have is that final ball into the box from either Murphy or Barnes that really aren't finding the desired target.
Well, some real stars in the crowd there. Former Liverpool manager and player Kenny Dalglish, and former Liverpool legend, well, they're both legends, Ian Rush is at this one as well. Here's Harvey Barnes. Barnes with a shot, takes a deflection off Kanate, and goes behind for another corner to Newcastle. Media, Radio, Jingles and Gaming says, well, both sets of fans looking on, from Alan Shearer to Steven Gerrard, and yes, to Ian Rush and Kenny Dalglish as well. It's a corner to Newcastle now down this down this left-hand side, and well, we've got 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Dan Burn just lurking with intent there for Newcastle. He makes his way towards the edge of the box. It's headed on by Burns and it sneaks in. Oh, it's a goal for Newcastle. And it's Dan Burn who gives Newcastle the lead from a most unlikely source. He was completely unmarked and he directed his header into Coivin Kelleher's right-hand post. And Kelleher was not expecting that to go in. But Newcastle take the 1-goal lead. And Luke, talk us through that goal.
Well, it was a really deserved goal, to be fair. The ball into Dan Burn was amazing. I'm not quite sure how Dan Burn got that much space. I'm going to see it now. So the ball comes in. There's that ball back to the back post again. And McAllister is on him again. But he gets free. Burn gets free of McAllister and then just powers it into that corner. I mean, again, I raised the question a few minutes ago. Why is McAllister on Dan Burn? And there still hasn't been an answer and it still hasn't been addressed. And now Dan Burn has scored because McAllister is on Dan Burn. That's a real height disadvantage, or advantage if you're looking at it from a Newcastle perspective. And in the end, it puts Newcastle ahead. Well deserved. Liverpool have looked lacklustre.
Well, it was certainly looked altogether far too easy for Dan Burn. Here's Diogo Jota over the halfway line now, down the left-hand side. That's a good challenge there, and it's going to be cleared away by Kieran Trippier. And, well, Jacob Murphy just knocks it off Luis Diaz. Welcome, JB. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Afternoon, lads. Great call on the goal, lads. Yeah, it was honestly, it's been deserved. I agree with Luke from Newcastle's perspective. Liverpool's defending there was very, very lacklustre. It was altogether too easy for Dan Burn. But you can see the Newcastle fans celebrating. They'll just want to make sure they get to half-time with that lead intact. Here's Sandro Tonali. Cleared away by Kieran Trippier. The only man in the Liverpool half of the field is Alexander Isak. And that ball goes out of play for a throw-in. We've played the full 2 minutes and looks like we are going to be finishing this first half with Newcastle in the lead. But yes, there it is. That's a half-time. I think that is a half-time whistle, is it? No, I'm sorry, it's not. I apologise. I'm a bit ahead of myself here. Here is Joel Linton, but he loses possession there to Alexis McAllister. McAllister plays the ball forward to Mohamed Salah. Salah launches the ball in the area. There's Diaz. It's dropped as a chance for Jota, and it's just wide. Oh, and what about that? What a chance at the end of this first half, Luke. That really was an opportunity for Liverpool, wasn't it?
That was a real chance. I mean, that really should have been 1-1. But I'm not sure how he's missed that, Jota. A player of his quality really should be scoring that there.
Well, it was headed down to Jota, and he managed to put it well wide. The half-time whistle has gone now, and it is half-time. The goal in stoppage time at the end of the first half by Dan Burn is the difference here at Wembley Stadium. At half-time, it's Liverpool 0, Newcastle 1. Back to you, Ross.
Thank you very much there to Paul and to Luke on that first half coverage this afternoon. Brilliant. As JB Riley said, brilliant call on the goal from both of the lads. Let's just bring in Luke back in for a moment. And Luke, just give us your overall thoughts on that first half. Obviously, you said on the goal, Newcastle deserved it, Liverpool were lacklustre. But just give us your overall thoughts on the first half and from both sides, and I see the second half shaping up as it stands at this moment in time.
Well, Liverpool cannot come out and play like that again in the second half. So to play like that again in the second half, Newcastle will win this game. Simple. They are not getting enough balls around the Newcastle box. When they do get up the field, they don't like to have the cutting edge. I mean, Salah has looked anonymous. Diaz and Jota looked a little bit better, but again, Jota misses that chance right at the end. You'd expect a player of his quality to score that chance. In contrast, Newcastle look brilliant. They look like a team. Tonali and Joel Linton are winning that midfield battle hands down. I mean, if I look at the goal, I said it in the commentary, that to be fair, I'm not sure why McAllister is on Dan Burn. That needs addressing in the second half because it's a massive height difference. But the way I see it going is if it continues like that, then Newcastle will win the game hands down.
Thank you very much. There, Luke will be back with Paul and Luke in a little bit's time to give you the build up for the start of the second half. We'll get Paul's thoughts in a few moments as well on that first half performance. But let's just review some earlier scores from some of the matches taking place there in the Premier League. Full-time scores: Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0, Tottenham 2. No, Fulham 2, Tottenham 0, should I say. Sorry, Tottenham fans, I almost gave you the win there against Fulham this afternoon. In the Championship, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sheffield United 1, Sheffield United back level on points with Leeds United at the top of the Championship table. Burnley sitting in third place in the table, 2 points behind both Sheffield United and Leeds United. Leeds United on top on goal difference from Sheffield United. As we know, half-time in the EFL Cup final is Liverpool 0, Newcastle United 1. Dan Burn with the goal just into first half stoppage time. In the WSL this afternoon, it finished Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0, Brighton 1. Spanish La Liga, Leganes 2, Real Betis 3, Sevilla 0, Athletic Club 1. Osasuna versus Getafe, Nueva Economy, Real Sociedad will kick off at 5:30. Evening kick-off in La Liga as well. Atletico Madrid take on Barcelona at 8 o'clock this evening. In the German Bundesliga, Bochum 1, Frankfurt 3. Half-time score is Heidenheim 1, Holstein Kiel 0. And Stuttgart versus Leverkusen. Evening kick-off at 6:30. Italian Serie A, Venezia 0, Napoli 0, Bologna 5, Lazio 0, Roma 1, Cagliari 0. 20 minutes gone in this game. Fiorentina 2, Juventus 0. Atalanta versus Inter. Evening kick-off at 7:45. French Ligue 1, Lyon 4, Le Havre 2 is a full-timer. Score, latest scores: Brest 0, Reims 0, Montpellier 0, Saint Etienne 1, Saint Etienne down to 10 men. Strasbourg 1, Toulouse 1 in that game in there this afternoon. Evening kick-off is PSG against Marseille as well today. In the Scottish Premiership, Celtic 2, Rangers 3 in the Old Firm derby this afternoon. Dundee United 2, Dundee 4 in the other derby match up in Scotland this afternoon. Today, let's just read some of the comments out here. And JB has said, I agree with what JB said, good call on the goal from both Paul and from Luke this afternoon. Media Radio Jingles in the game, he says, yeah, because what JB's words, fantastic first half commentary by Paul and Luke, and what a match to return to the channel with in regards to Luke on the commentary team this afternoon. He also says some of the fans thought they got to win then. Yes, they did. I read the score out wrong. I thought they were at home until I looked at it again. And Media Radio Jingles in the game, he says, at least Arsenal got to win today, much better than last week, and absolutely that is the case. And we've heard from what Luke thought of that first half performance. Let's just hear what your main match commentator Paul James thought of that first half performance. And Paul, what's your overall thoughts after the first 45 minutes in this game this afternoon?
Well, I think, to be honest with you, Newcastle, I think their game plan is working for them a lot more than Liverpool's is. Liverpool have not been able to scramble. They've only just scrambled one shot at the end of the first half. It was off target. The chances have been much better. The creative passing in the final third of the field has been much better with Newcastle than with Liverpool. So I expect changes by the hour mark if things haven't improved for Liverpool in the second half.
Yes, and you just look at that Liverpool. I think Luke summed it up perfectly, not just only in commentary, but when I spoke to him at the end, before he went off as well, he said Liverpool lost in that first half, Newcastle deservedly in the lead, and Also, he's also questioned, he said it in the commentary, he said it again, why is someone of McAllister's height and stature marking the big tall unit of Dan Burn? And I think Luke summed those bits up brilliantly there, Paul. What's your takes on those comments?
Well, I agree. It does seem strange because there's a massive difference in height, and it's McAllister does not get close enough anyway to Dan Burn on that goal. It was just altogether too easy.
It was indeed. It was indeed. And I'll come back to Luke in just a second. But just wanted to ask you quickly, Paul. We'll get Luke. Before I come back to the point, I was going to ask the next question. I was going to ask you, Luke, Paul. Let me just fetch in Luke. So he's got another point on the goal as well. Luke, what do you want to say, my friend?
Yeah, I've just seen it again. Burn comes from behind Harvey Barnes. So not only is there a mismatch, there's also two Newcastle players on McAllister. So it's zonal, for starters, zonal marking. And also, Newcastle looked at that and put two on the back post, well, back of the box. And then no one's looked at it in a Liverpool shirt and gone, we need to put somebody else over there before the corner comes in. Like, it's bizarre how you've got that many players in the box and no one's thought there's two there against one player.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. I noticed that as well. I was surprised to see that myself there as well. The question I was going to bring to you, Paul, is when you look at the options on both benches this afternoon, obviously you've got to say Liverpool have got let's just say the stronger of the two benches that you can pick from in terms of game changes, in my opinion. I don't know whether you agree with that, and if so, who do you think will come on first off of the bench for Liverpool to potentially change this game?
Well, from an attacking perspective, the way they're playing, they're crying out for somebody like Darwin Núñez. The way that they're playing, they're crying out for that right now. There's no target man at the moment. Jota, who is supposed to be in that number 9 role, is not there. He's often finding himself either on the left or to the right. Oftentimes it's been Luis Diaz who's been the target man over the top, of which Dan Burn and Fabian Schär have been able to deal with quite well. But if it was me, I might look at bringing on Darwin Núñez.
Yes, absolutely. And Luke has said Núñez, Gakpo, Chiesa, and says he's even put Jones on as well. So there's a few on there. But with Newcastle, though, Paul, and I'll come to you as well on this as well in a minute, Luke, they don't really need to change anything. They don't need to change the way they're playing. Don't need to make any changes. I think Eddie Howe will probably be in there saying more of the same, won't he, Paul?
Yeah, I think he will. I think it's working very well for Newcastle right now.
And Luke, would you say the same? Would you think Eddie Howe will be saying more of the same from his Newcastle side in that going into the second half performance?
Yes, to a degree. I think Eddie Howe will look at it and also go, we can get better balls into the box. The final end product balls in open play has not been as good as the set piece balls. So I think that would be something that he would definitely look at. I mean, during the second half, later on, it'd be interesting to see whether he switches around and maybe puts Willock in there, Longstaff, to freshen it up a little bit, because it's going to be a long second half for Tonali, Joelinton and Bruno Guimaraes to get through against the onslaught that will come from Liverpool. I'm predicting that Liverpool will not play that bad again in the second half. So you'd think that there's going to be a lot more work for them to get through. So freshening the midfield up will be key. Again, I'm looking at the bench. I don't see too many options wider in the midfield sense. So might only be a Sula that could probably come on in that position. So yeah, I'd say more of the same, but do it better.
Yes, and Luke, if I were to ask you what Arne Slot would be saying to his Liverpool side, I think he'd be saying, no, need to, for me, I'd change who's marking Dan Burn on corners for one. Plus two, need to get the ball into Salah a bit more than what they are doing in that first half, into the forward areas, the forward options, because they've not really got the forward players into the game as much. They've not really got Salah, they've not really got Jota, they've not really got Diaz into the game much. Maybe even Szoboszlai at times who can potentially unlock a ball, play through pass to unlock a defence. Not really getting those players on the ball at the moment. Do you think that's these kind of players? What Slot to be saying to his team to get those kind of players on the ball a bit more?
Yeah, I'd also be asking what Gravenberch has been doing in the whole of that first half, because to be honest with you, he's been anonymous with the balls going into the McAllister and Szoboszlai. I've been wanting someone to take control of that midfield. He's the biggest of the three guys in that midfield. So, come on, compete. Like, you've got to get the ball, you've got to get it going forward. Because if they're not winning the ball in the midfield and they're losing that midfield battle, then your players further forward aren't going to get kind of the chances that they need, because you've got the ball going the opposite direction. So they need to get hold of that midfield, which is why I'm starting to think, do you put Curtis Jones on to win the ball back, get it driving forward towards the likes of Diaz, Salah, Jota, get it more in that sense, because at the minute you're just getting overrun, out-battled, and basically you're losing the game now.
Yeah, Liverpool did have a penalty claim for handball towards the end of the first half as well, Luke. Ball over the top and an handball claims against Kieran Trippier. Didn't look like it to me. What did you make of the incident of the handball claim against Kieran Trippier towards the end of that first half?
Well, I'm about to see it now. No, it's way too close. That is way too close. I mean, how is actually supposed to get anything away from that? I mean, he's trying to get hold of Diaz. And I mean, all right, if you're looking at kind of what's been given throughout the season, then you probably would, but I wouldn't, to be honest. There's nothing you can really do about it. And no, he's way too close to where the ball is. It's bouncing around. There's not much you can do about it. Move on.
Thank you very much. There, Lou. The players are back out to kick off for this second half. So let's be time for me to hand back over to your match commentary team, Luke Turton, and first, Paul James.
Thank you very much, Ross. Welcome back, everybody. Yes, just commenting on that penalty, Ross. I don't think that was a penalty at all. I think his arm was in a natural position. I noticed it was only one of the Newcastle players that actually appealed as well. Luke, we're about ready to get the second half underway. No changes by either side at the end of the first half. I will run through the starting lineups for you in a minute. Just before I do, Luke, what do Liverpool need to do better in the second half?
Everything. Take control of the midfield, go forward, create chances, not sit in front of their box and allow Newcastle to have the ball.
All right, well, the second half is underway. It's right back to Dan Burn. Dan Burn throws the ball forward with Newcastle attacking the goal to our left in this second half. The ball is played into the centre circle. It's won by Tino Livramento, but well played by Luis Diaz, just winning the ball back and dropping it to Andrew Robertson. Robertson to Konate. Back to Van Dijk and back to Robertson. Running through the lineups for you, starting with Liverpool. Cloven Kelleher in goal, Andrew Robertson, Ibrahima Konate, Virgil van Dijk, Jarrell Quansah, Alexis McAllister, Ryan Gravenberch, Dominic Szoboszlai, Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota and Mohamed Salah. For Newcastle, Nick Pope in goal, Tino Livramento, Dan Burn, Fabian Schär, Kieran Trippier, Joel Linton, Sandro Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes, Harvey Barnes, Alexander Isak and Jacob Murphy. As the ball is cleared downfield once again by Cloven Kelleher. It's headed back again into the Liverpool half, and it goes back through to the goalkeeper, Koivin Kelleher, one more time. Kanate picks up the ball. Luke, regarding the goal, do you think Koivin Kelleher could have done any better with that?
No, it's a really impressive header from that distance to get it to go that angle into that corner. I mean, it's really impressive. The criticisms are more around the men in the box, to be fair, than Kelleher. But also criticism of the second half already. Liverpool, you're moving the ball way too slow.
Now it's back again with Kelleher now. Liverpool just being backed up into their own half of the field at the moment. Kelleher plays the ball short to Alexis McAllister, across to Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk now storming over the halfway line, and he plays the ball through looking for Alexis McAllister. McAllister pulls the ball back for Diaz, but that is really good work by Joel Linton defensively, just nipping in ahead of Luis Diaz. The throw-in is taken quickly. We'll get Luke's thoughts on that in a moment. But here's Alexis McAllister. Back to Robertson, and now McAllister again. He gives the ball back to Van Dijk. Great piece of defending, Luke.
Yeah, great bit of defending. You had to get there to Joel Linton. But again, it's slightly better from Liverpool.
Well, ball is played forward now to McAllister. Good ball out to the right-hand side. Here is Mohamed Salah. Pulls the ball back here to McAllister. Across to Gravenberch. Gravenberch holds the ball up. Is about 40 yards from goal. Drops it back to Kanate. Kanate lifts the ball forward, looking for McAllister, as once again another target man is there other than Diogo Jota. And this time it was the ball was across. As we look at that ball again into Luis Diaz, that was a fantastic piece of defending by Joel Linton, it has to be said. And it's going to be a throw-in here. And Joel Linton, actually rather it's going to be a goal kick, I should say. It's cleared downfield by Nick Pope. Just flicked on there, that time by Gerald Quansah. The ball is launched forward, looking for Luis Diaz, holding the ball up well. Was he fouled? The referee says no. Diaz is furious. The ball is played long there, looking for Isak. Well played by Van Dijk, winning that header. But it's picked up by Jacob Murphy. But Murphy's ball is a poor one. And now Liverpool can come forward. It's Quansah, plays the ball into Joboslai. Joboslai just turning away from Joel Linton. Across to McAllister. McAllister holds the ball up. He plays the ball forward. But again, that move breaks down for Liverpool. And once again, the ball, when it matters, Luke, is just not there for Liverpool.
And it's not just the ball. There was no movement there. If McAllister wants to play the ball forward, everybody is static. Move!
Ball cleared downfield. Tino Livramento sends the ball to Harvey Barnes. It's Newcastle now looking to increase their lead. Harvey Barnes gets to the byline, tries to get the cross in, but that is a really good block by Gerald Quansah. And it's going to be a corner to Newcastle. And once again, Dan Burn will be looking for an opportunity. Already scored one, of course. As once again, it doesn't seem to have changed. It still seems to be McAllister watching Dan Burn. Look at the difference in height. You can actually see it there from that picture. The corner will be whipped in towards the back post, possibly by Trippier. Trippier swings the ball in all the way through. Joel Linton pulls the ball back. Oh, it's almost there! It's in! It's in by Isak! And oh, it's offside! It's offside, and well, the flag is up there, but Isak looked like he'd scored, and the goal is disallowed. Well, Alexander Isak has got, let's take a look at this again, Luke. The cross to the back post, pulled back by, yes, well, maybe by a, it looks for a moment like it's being reviewed by VAR now. He looks onside to me there, I'll be honest with you. He looks onside to me there. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Luke, but he looked onside to me there.
Don't think it was Isak that was offside. I think it was the one in front of Kelleher's eye line. There was a guy just in front of Kelleher they've disallowed it for. I think that's why. Isak was not offside, but I think it was the other guy.
It's one of them, isn't it? It's one of them. Do you call that or don't you? Because he wasn't blocking the eye line when Isak put it in the net. Like Bruno Guimaraes was there blocking the eyesight there. You might argue that had he had the full eyesight, he might have kept a hold of the ball. That's an argument, isn't it? That could or could not be so. But it's one of them, isn't it? It's an opinion on there and whether you feel that's an interference in play. But the goal doesn't stand, and play goes on. So a disallowed goal there for Alexander Isak on 52 minutes. Here is Livramento, throws the ball into the box. Here's a chance now, and this one will count. And it's Alexander Isak who makes it 2-0. Well, this one will count, surely. Alexander Isak on 53 minutes. What a chance. It just fell to his feet in the penalty area. And there was no question about that one, Luke.
Absolutely no question about that one. I was just thinking as you were talking about the disallowed one, that Newcastle, the best thing you can do is just go back up that end and just go and score, because Liverpool are looking totally shaky, totally ropey. They've not really changed anything at half-time, and they've just paid the price again, to be honest. I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And I want to actually look at the goal again, because it comes down here from Livramento out to Barnes, back down to Livramento. Great ball towards the back post, great header, and a great first-time finish. No one's alive to it. No one really goes to try and make a block or make a tackle. And then it comes to the back post. It's easily out-jumped Robertson and Murphy there. And then it's great finish from Isak. That is why Isak has scored so many goals this season. That's the reason why, because he hits it first time. He's got that brains and he's got that movement.
Well, for Alexander Isak this season, that is his 26th. That is his 20th goal of the season for Alexander Isak. And Newcastle take a 2-goal lead, and we knew we'd be a threat. And here's now Liverpool with Szoboszlai. Liverpool coming the other end. The cross comes into the back post by Robertson. It's going to be picked up by Salah. No, it just runs away from Mohamed Salah and goes out of play. But, well, Newcastle, well, their fans must be delighted right now. This will be, if they can hold on to this will be their first major domestic trophy since 1955. My dad was 5 years old. And there is Alexis McAllister across to Konate, Van Dijk, and Robertson. Robertson trying to get away from Trippier. And the ball rolls behind and goes for a goal kick, as immediately Liverpool now making the substitutions. Curtis Jones looks like he's down there on the far side, ready to come on as well. Well, there's also somebody else down there preparing. It's Darwin Núñez. So this I'm not surprised to see, because there has been no target man for either for Liverpool really in this entire game. And this is now an opportunity perhaps to bring on somebody like Darwin Núñez to see if he can make a difference. As it's Livramento knocked onto Barnes. Barnes plays the ball forward. It bounces. I'm sure that bounced off Gerald Quansah. But the throw-in has been given to Liverpool. It's taken quickly. It's headed down there by Diogo Jota, but out of play. And we are probably going to see Jota for Núñez. I'm not sure who it'll be for Curtis Jones. But we're about to find out. It is Jota for Darwin Núñez, and I Just trying to see who it will be for. Oh, yes, it's Ibrahima Konate for Jones. So Jones and Jota are off. Sorry, Konate and Jota are off. Jones and Nunes are on, as Liverpool are the first to blink in this game and go for a substitution. Your thoughts on that substitution? Would you agree with that, Luke?
I suppose that now means that Gravenberch has got into the back four, with Jones going just in front, because that's the most sensible. Gravenberch has done nothing in midfield today, so it makes sense to put somebody in there that is going to do something a bit more combative. I agree with Darwin Núñez for Jota. Jota's been anonymous all game, apart from that one shot at the end of the second half, which went wide. Yeah, I agree to an extent. It's just a bit too late, I think.
Ball is cleared here by Virgil van Dijk. Winning that in the air is Tino Livramento. Headed straight down to Harvey Barnes. Barnes goes down under the challenge of Gerald Quansah, and the referee has given a free kick. As the free kick is down the left-hand side. It's only a couple of yards in from the touchline. Tino Livramento may take this one. And Dan Burn going up there again. As Liverpool look like they may only have the league to focus on this season, as Newcastle 2-0 up right now, but it's never over. 2-0 can be a funny lead, and a goal back for Liverpool could change this entire game. But the free kick is going to be taken, in fact, by Trippier. He goes long. The header is won by Virgil van Dijk, picked up by Murphy to Dan Burn. To Fabian Schär. He gives the ball to Bruno Guimaraes, and Guimaraes is standing in an offside position, and it's going to be a free kick. Well, the second goal kind of put a shocker for me. To give Isak that much space in the box as well, Luke, it was a lot of space for Isak, for someone with his reputation. Here's Diaz. Diaz now overlapping on the far side. It's picked up there by Jones. Back to the edge of the area and a shot. Oh, turned over the crossbar. And a shot from Curtis Jones. A super save from Nick Pope. And the first shot actually on target for Liverpool in this game.
That's why I was saying to bring Curtis Jones on, because he does that sort of thing in a game of football. He has those shots. He wins the ball. I mean, great hand from Nick Pope, but again, that's the impact.
Well, we've got Sandro Tonali down, clutching the inside of his leg. He looks in some discomfort. And just so you know, join us after this game, that we are also covering Leicester versus Manchester United at the King Power Stadium. Russ Vernon will be bringing you that one as a nightcap. Shot was superb there. It was a superb save by Nick Pope. A brilliant reaction save. And, well, that could be, how valuable might that save prove to be? Still, Newcastle players. There's a second Newcastle player down now. I think that's Bruno Guimaraes there. He's being helped up by Nick Pope. Sandro Tonali still receiving treatment. So with an hour gone, do you see a way back for Liverpool, Luke?
Yeah, I just want to come in on that thing first between Tonali and Guimaraes. Guimaraes actually slides into Sandro Tonali, which is why they both were getting treatment. But do I see a way back for Liverpool? Well, yeah, the minute's half an hour and it's only 2-0. So, yes, but they're going to have to score within the next 10-15 minutes, I think.
Well, the corner is going to be taken on the right-hand side. Liverpool have loaded up that 18-yard box. Darwin Núñez is in there. It's McAllister with the corner. The heads go up. It's flicked away back to the edge of the area. Chasing this one back is Dominic Jobbersley. Plays it to Robertson, back to Jobbersley. And Jobbersley just trying to turn away from Harvey Barnes. Drop back to Robertson. And the ball is now with Robertson again down the left-hand side. Here's Jones. Jones on the edge of the area, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Robertson again. Checks back, does Robertson. He's got Guimaraes in front of him. Liverpool hoping to carve open this Newcastle defence. The ball is played through here, and it was a good challenge once again by Joel Linton, who's made some crucial challenges in this game, Luke.
Yeah, really impressive. He's had to get across there well, because otherwise that was going to be a pullback. But again, crucial tackle.
Corner, which Alexis McAllister will take. McAllister's going to swing this ball in. 6-yard box. Pope comes with a punch. Gets a little bit of distance on it as far as Jobbersley. Drops the ball back into the centre circle to Gravenberch. Gravenberch, you were right, Luke. It looks like Gravenberch has dropped into that centre-back role. Here's Jobbersley. And back to McAllister. And Jobbersley launches the ball in. Oh, it's bouncing around there, and it just bounced off Darwin Núñez there. He wasn't able to keep that ball under control, and Nick Pope is able to gratefully throw himself on that. See the cross coming in there. The header came off Dan Burns, and I guess Darwin Núñez just wasn't expecting it. If he'd have controlled that better, he might have had a chance.
Yeah, I think also it was probably a bit quick because Quansah and Byrne went up and then it was flicked towards Núñez. I don't think the reaction time was that on point. It was a bit fast, the ball coming over, and in the end it was just what it was.
Trippier goes down. Bruno Guimaraes gives the ball to Murphy. Back to Guimaraes. Oh, he's back heel, almost found Murphy again. But waiting there was Virgil van Dijk, but it breaks loose again as Liverpool give the ball away again. Finally, the clearance is done by Gravenberch, but only as far as Guimaraes. He holds the ball up to Guimaraes. He launches the ball in the penalty area. There's Barnes! There's Isak! Super save! Oh my goodness me, he's kept Liverpool in the game there as Kelleher. We'll get Luke's thoughts from that in a moment, but Newcastle still have the ball. And the shot coming in again, and just wide this time from Fabian Schär. But how important was that save? What a beautiful reaction save to his right-hand side, Luke. You can see the header across by the ball across by Barnes, and what an important save that was.
Yeah, great play again by Newcastle. There's a touch of maybe offside, but yeah, great save altogether by Kelleher. Crucial save, and again, it just proves that Newcastle are looking the more dangerous still.
Well, here's Robertson. And, well, you might have your work cut out picking a man of the match this afternoon, Luke. Here's Kelleher. Launches the ball downfield, and it's just won comfortably by Trippier. Drops it back to Dan Burn. Dan Burn launches the ball long, looking for Harvey Elliott. It's won by Gravenberch, flicked on by McAllister into the Newcastle half of the field and put out of play by Kieran Trippier, as Joel Linton is now down injured as well, along with Alexander Isak. Perhaps some cramp setting in. No changes made yet by Eddie Howe. Are you expecting those changes to come soon, Luke?
Like I said at half-time to Russ, the longer this midfield battle goes on and this game progresses, it's going to get harder and harder for Joel Linton, Tonali, Guimaraes to get up and down, up and down, up and down all game, because it's quite a big pitch at Wembley, and going around it for now 65 minutes, I'm not surprised that we've seen a few different players go down, clutching different parts of their legs. It's tiring, and yeah, I think at some point you'll probably see Willock, Longstaff, Miley, maybe even Callum Wilson towards the end to freshen it up a little bit. It wouldn't surprise me if that happens in the next 10-15 minutes.
Well, Newt, we just take a look at both goals again, and The Isak goal, for me, I don't know about you, Luke, but for me, he was just given a bit too much space for somebody of his capability and his strike rate.
Yeah, but it was also really clever because he didn't take a touch. He just hit it, which is really smart. He just hit it first time as the ball came down from the header from Jacob Murphy. So, to me, yeah, too much space, but great intelligence from Isak.
All right, well, let's. Alexis McAllister has just come off, sneaky substitution there. Cody Gakpo is now on for Liverpool in the hope of bringing more firepower to this Liverpool side. And is this a substitution that you would agree with?
In this stage, probably they need to throw everything at it. I mean, McAllister's not really done much either, to be fair. He's been out muscled majority of the game.
Well, Newcastle breaking forward now. And here is Sandro Tonali, and overlapping is Dan Burn. That's a good ball across though to Isak, and his ball for Joe Linton almost kept it in play, but he puts it into the side netting. But I think the pass by Isak there just had a bit too much power on it, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And then if anybody else other than Dan Burn was breaking at the same time as Tonali, a bit faster, they could have a real chance there. But I think because it was Dan Burn, he's not as quick. Tonali had to look to the other side and slow it down a bit, and then Isak just got his pass wrong.
Well, we've got another Newcastle player down. This time it's Bruno Guimaraes. As sure the Liverpool fans will not be appreciating this. Guimaraes gets back on his feet, and it is a free kick to Newcastle with 22 minutes to go. Time running out for the Giants from Merseyside. Newcastle could be looking at their first trophy since their first domestic trophy since 1955. Of course, they won the City Fairs Trophy in 1969, a European competition. The ball's launched forward. It's headed on by Shah. Trying to deal with that is Gravenberch, but Shah has it again. And here's Barnes. Barnes pulled back looking for Shah, but that was really well read that time by Liverpool. Oh, they've given it away again, and now here's a chance. The shot comes in, and it's just wide from Jacob Murphy. Well, once again, they gave the ball away while breaking out, and Liverpool are just making a run for their own back. This time it's Gakpo. The ball given away, and the shot wasn't a million miles away, Luke. Here's Mo Salah gives the ball there to Diaz. Diaz dropped back to Curtis Jones. I'll get your thoughts on that in a moment, just while Liverpool are on the attack here. Jones again. Across there to Virgil van Dijk. Out wide here to Cody Gakpo. Gakpo holds the ball up, plays the ball into the middle and into the arms of Nick Pope. Yes, it was a giveaway by Cody Gakpo there. They're not helping themselves, Luke.
No, they're really not helping themselves at all, to be honest. They're just making it really difficult for themselves, giving the ball away. They're not moving the ball fast enough forward, and they're just giving the ball away aimlessly and not creating much, then slowing it down in their final third, and then just putting aimless balls into the box for Pope. So at the minute, it's not looking very likely that Liverpool are going to get anything from this.
Well, the Newcastle fans are on their feet as they have been throughout the entire game. I have to say, Luke, and I'll explain it in a moment. Here's Isak. Well, he's just challenged there by Gravenberch, and Kwanzaa goes back to the goalkeeper, Cloven Kelleher. I have to say, Newcastle fans are, in my opinion, the best in the country. They travel really, really well. They make so much noise, whether it's home and away. They're almost like a 12th man out there.
Yeah, one of the best. I'd agree with you there.
The ball goes out of play for a throw-in. And it's going to be taken by Andrew Robertson. Just thrown down to him there from Curtis Jones. Andrew Robertson is just holding up well. He needs to get a move on because there's 19 minutes left and Liverpool are 2-0 down. And here's Gakpo. Gakpo is dispossessed once more. Here's Dan Burn. Goes down under the challenge by Dominic Szoboszlai, who protests. And Bruno Guimaraes is the one that is fouled. As we take a look here again, he just cut across. He actually wins the ball. I think that's a little bit unlucky, that one, actually. But it is going to be a free kick to Newcastle. Dominic Szoboszlai. The free kick is almost midway inside the Liverpool half of the field. Kieran Trippier over this one. Just down the right-hand side. And this game has really slowed down now to almost a walking pace. And you have to wonder what Liverpool have got in the tank to get back in it. And the ball is poor there by Trippier. And Liverpool can now try to get out, but the pass again was very, very poor. There's a couple of more substitutions coming up for Liverpool. Looks like Harvey Elliott being one of them. Not quite sure who the other is, but I'll get that for you in a moment. This will, of course, make it the 5 substitutes for Liverpool. And they have the ball now. And it's picking up the ball there is Darwin Núñez. Just drops it back to Joe Quansah. Quansah launches the ball long over on the far side looking for Gakpo, but the ball goes out of play. So Harvey Elliott coming on in a moment, and I think the other one might have been Chiesa, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it is. Yes, it's Federico Chiesa. And coming off there, I'm not quite sure who that was. I'll get that information for you in a moment. I think Newcastle are also making one as well. Luis Diaz is the one coming off, or one of the ones coming off. So Luis Diaz, Ryan Gravenberch is the other one. So Diaz and Gravenberch are coming off. And Chiesa and Elliott are coming on. So Liverpool really throwing out all the punches now. They've made their 5 substitutions, Luke. I mean, Arne Slotter's roll has made his last roll of the dice, really. And is it enough, do you think, to help Liverpool get back in this game?
Well, he's had to do something, he's had to try. I'm not sure exactly whether it's going to be enough to change the whole complexion of the game, but at least he's thrown all his options on now.
Oh, it's a free kick for Liverpool. It's taken quickly. And on the ball right now is Quansah. Quansah drops the ball back there to Jones. Back to Quansah. Here's Elliott. Elliott cuts inside, just getting his first touch of the ball, gives it to Szoboszlai. Looking out on the far side to Gakpo with Núñez and Chiesa up there right now. It's Szoboszlai again across to Quansah. Quansah, the ball out wide to Mo Salah. Can he get to the byline and get the crossing? Oh, he tries, but it's a really good challenge by Tino Livramento. And the ball goes behind for a corner to Liverpool, and Harvey Elliott is going to take this corner. Well, it's down the right-hand side. Virgil van Dijk's in there. Núñez is in there, of course. So is Gakpo. Obviously, Chiesa in there as well. Elliott with a corner. It's swinging. Pope comes a long way. Gets a fist on it. Does very well there. The ball goes all the way out of play. On the far side of the penalty area, left-hand side. And Robertson just drops the ball back to Jones. It's swung in again. Livramento tries to head the ball out. He only finds Harvey Elliott. Liverpool putting on the pressure now, but is it too little too late? Swung in by Chiesa. Headed out that time by Dan Burn. And now then, Bruno Guimaraes gives the ball to Elliott. Elliott trying to set off. Alexander Isak on his way, but that is really good defending by Andrew Robertson. Just getting ahead of Alexander Isak that time. And, well, smart defensive play. As here's Jones now for Liverpool. 14 minutes to go. And it's Liverpool 0, Newcastle 2. Here's Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk, long ball over onto the far side there. Picked up by Mo Salah. Liverpool now coming forward in numbers. Here's Quansah. It's really going to be a question of hang on tight for Newcastle, I think, in the last 14 minutes of this game. There is Gakpo, gives the ball to Szoboszlai. Cross is blocked that time the cross was blocked by Murphy from Andrew Robertson. It's a throw into Liverpool. Here's Szoboszlai again. And back to Robertson. Back to Szoboszlai. Time ticking down. Robertson gets a cross in, flicked on by Chiesa. Cleared away by Livramento. Inside his own penalty area. Here's Quansah, about 40 yards from goal. Plays the ball over onto the far side, headed down by Gakpo. And, that's a good challenge, is it there on Federico Chiesa? No, the referee says no. It's going to be a free kick for Liverpool on the corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. And, Luke, this is a dangerous position for Liverpool and most certainly a free kick.
Yeah, most certainly a free kick. And I'd say that if Liverpool want to get back into this game, they're going to have to do it now.
Well, time is ticking down for them. Dominic Szoboszlai is going to take this free kick. A goal back now by Liverpool will make this one heck of the last 12 minutes. But it's going to be taken. Corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. It's swung in. The heads go up. It's headed out by Dan Burn. Only as far as Curtis Jones. Gives the ball back to Robertson. Robertson launches the ball into the penalty area. It drops to Chiesa. Chiesa holds the ball. He's got 3 Newcastle players around him. And here's Gakpo. Elliott. And Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai is mugged, but he wins the ball back. Well played. And here's Harvey Elliott. Across to Curtis Jones. Down to Mo Salah. Back to Elliott again. Elliott tries to play the ball through. Here's a chance perhaps for Chiesa. It's cleared away by Dan Burn. Vital clearance that time. Media Radio Jingles and Gaming says, well, I told you that this would happen. A shock on the way. Well, hold on to your hat because we don't know that it's over yet. There is still time. And Virgil van Dijk there cutting a frustrated figure as we just take a look at this again. Harvey Elliott plays the ball through. Looking for Federico Chiesa. It was actually cleared away by the number 5 for Newcastle, Fabian Schär. Elliott swinging the ball in again. Headed out this time by Burns, only as far as Elliott. Back to Mohamed Salah down the left-hand side. Salah drops the ball back to the number 17, Curtis Jones. Across there from Robertson. Holding up the ball well here is Dominic Szoboszlai. Really good pass across to Elliott as Liverpool playing the ball forward. Turning is Jones with a shot, but it's just over the crossbar. Well, Liverpool threatening, Luke, but is it too little too late now?
Well, they're having play around the area, but they're not really threatening too much. Jones has had the shot off target. He's had that one saved by Pope. But again, there's not many on-target chances. They're all kind of just play around the box.
Well, Alexander Isak may be going off now anyway because Callum Wilson is just readying himself to come on. But Alexander Isak, what a performance by him today, as there's been so many in that Newcastle team that have been a complete threat throughout the whole game. And very shortly now, Luke, you will need to give your man of the match, and I don't envy you having to make this choice. Alexander Isak is coming off, Wilson coming on. First substitute for Newcastle in this game. Liverpool have made all 5. I think there's also Willock is readying himself to come on for Harvey Barnes. Good performance by Barnes today. He's been very much in it the whole game, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really has, to be fair, and so has Isak. They've both played exceptionally well in the reason as to why Newcastle are winning this game today. And I said earlier on that they're going to have to make changes towards the end of the game just for fresh legs to make sure they can see this through. It makes sense. There's like 9-ish minutes plus out of time left, so it makes sense now.
Okay, Nick Pope is launching the ball downfield. We've had more comments in the comment section. Media ready. I'll get to them in a moment. The ball is down the left-hand side, and here is Joe Willock. Drops the ball back there to Joel Linton. Joel Linton again, edge of the area. Joel Linton with a shot, just whistles wide. Well, Joel Linton there looking to put a period on the statement, and he just pulls the shot just wide, Luke.
Yeah, and my assessment on that would be that it had to go across goal. He was trying to get to the near post, and really probably easier to hit it across the keeper.
Well, here is Sandro Tonali. Tonali with a shot. Oh, bit hot for Coyvin Kelleher. He just drops it, but picks it up very easily. Media Radio Jingles and Gaming says, I remember a few months ago when Liverpool were dreaming and dreaming for the quadruple. And if the scoreline remains the same, they could only win one thing this season. Here's Livramento inside the penalty area. Livramento gets a shot away. It's right off the shoulder of Curtis Jones and goes behind for another Newcastle corner. And, well, Luke, if when you've made your decision for man of the match, if you just want to pop it into the private chat to let our producer Ross know, and then we will announce it in about 5 minutes' time. Corner is going to be taken on the left-hand side. It's going to be Kieran Trippier that's going to take this one. He's just holding the ball up. Trippier swings it in towards the back post and headed up into the air by Jones. Headed on by Willock. Finds Callum Wilson with a shot, but well over the crossbar. He may have in fact been in an offside position. If he wasn't, that was half a chance for Callum Wilson, Luke.
Yeah, and I think I'd expect better from Callum Wilson in that position, but again, he's had little game time, and I think there's a lot of Liverpool players in the way, to be fair.
Well, here comes Curtis Jones. Gives the ball to Dominic Jobbersley. Time ticking down in regulation. It's 2-0 to Newcastle. Andrew Robertson plays the ball forward to Cody Gakpo. Gakpo holds the ball up and gives it to the number 17 there, Curtis Jones. Andrew Robertson also trying to get in there, but that was a really, really good challenge that time, I think, by Jacob Murphy that time. And the ball is played forward now, and it's played into the penalty area. Fabian Schär wins the ball this time and clears it away, and it's a foul on Jacob Murphy, and it's going to be a free kick to Newcastle United. And that has been typical, really, of Liverpool's day today, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, they've lacked real kind of cutting edge and any kind of finishing product in this game. Newcastle got really good today. I'm really impressed, and it's not a real shock, to be fair, because they've looked stood inside all season.
Well, we've exactly 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes for Newcastle to hold on for their first trophy since 1969. Their first domestic trophy since 1955. It's a free kick to Liverpool. And Newcastle fans, they'll certainly enjoy the long trip back up to the northeast. Goodness knows what time they'll get back tonight after celebrating. I'm sure they'll be spending the rest of the evening in London. Here is Robertson. Good ball out wide there to Dominic Jobbersley, and it runs out of play. Anyway, it's going to be a throw into Newcastle. Media, Radio, Jingles and Gaming says a moment of history for Newcastle if they can hold on. Indeed it is. The Liverpool fans, well, I think most of them know the game may be up at this stage. but it just takes that one goal. We all know that. Here is Joel Linton, long ball over the top. And we're going to name the player of the match, or man of the match, in about 2 minutes' time. Harvey Elliott gets right in front of Joel Linton. He drops the ball back to Curtis Jones. Jones back to Quansah. Quansah across to Virgil van Dijk. Dijk out wide there to Cody Gakpo. Gakpo. And Newcastle are just shutting the door defensively on Liverpool today. It really has been a solid defensive performance. The ball is launched forward into the Newcastle half of the field, and Nick Pope just drops on that. Just touch on the Newcastle performance today, Luke.
Yeah, it's been insane. I mean, they've done some really good things. They've defended well. They've controlled the midfield. They've looked really creative going forward. They've capitalised on the 2 chances they've got, and really showed what it is to be a really well built together side that is putting real pressure on winning something now.
Well, we've had Nick Jones in the chat. Hi, Nick. I hope you're feeling very well, my friend. He says, crazy to think that the last time Newcastle won a major trophy, the modern world as we know it didn't exist. Here's Harvey Elliott down the right-hand side. Drop back to Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones lifts the ball into the middle, and it's headed out of play as far as... Oh, it's not headed out of play. It's headed as far away as Jacob Murphy. Murphy alongside Federico Chiesa, and the Italian wins the ball. And he's coming forward now for Liverpool in the hope to try to get one last chance. Darwin Núñez. Núñez holds up the ball. It's with Harvey Elliott. Elliott swings the ball in, looking for Jones. It finally gets to the far side to Mohamed Salah, but he's unable to keep the ball in play. And I would say, Luke, I don't know about you, but I would say that Newcastle deserve a clean sheet today. Defensively, they really have been excellent.
Oh, absolutely. They've really been solid. Everyone in there, Shaw, Byrne, Joelinton, Guimaraes, Tonali, they've all controlled it. Out wide, Trippier and Livramento have defended really well against anybody they've come up against in that back line. I've been really impressed with all of them, to be fair.
Well, we're going to see another substitution for Newcastle. Is that Sean Longstaff? I think it might be. Jacob Murphy is coming off now. He's looking pretty stiff. Looks like it is Sean Longstaff who will be coming on in his stead. We're on 89 minutes now, and it might be interesting to see. I mean, he looks pretty uncomfortable there, does Murphy, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I don't quite know what the delay is, to be honest. Get on with it.
Okay, well, let's see. Newcastle are about ready to make that substitution. The ball goes out of play again. This time, Nick Pope has been given a yellow card. The first one in the game for perhaps taking rather long than he should. Jacob Murphy coming off now. And he's had an incredible game as well, Luke. It's been a fantastic performance by him today. Emil Kraft is coming on in his stead.
Yeah, Jacob Murphy's played really well, to be honest. I mean, his end product was a little bit off, but his header across the Isak was absolutely phenomenal. I loved everything about that Isak goal. And yeah, Jacob Murphy played really well today.
Well, that's the third substitution for Newcastle, as we have 8 minutes of stoppage time. And a lot of this is for some of the delays that we've had throughout the second half. Luke, do you think that's fair, or perhaps a little generous for Liverpool?
A little generous, to be honest. I was expecting about 4. So I don't know where they've got the extra 4 from, but okay.
Well, it's a throw-in for Newcastle taken by Tino Livramento. And Luke, I think now is the time for you to name today's man of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services.
Yeah, it goes to Newcastle's number 7, Joelinton. I've been really impressed with the tackles and blocks he's made today. It's been really impressive. So yeah, I've given it to Joelinton.
Well, Koivin Kelleher comes out from some good defending, just blocking out blocking out Callum Wilson there with the help of Brian Gravenberch. But yes, today's Play of the Match, sponsored by Commentary Services, goes to Newcastle's number 7, Joe Linton, and it really has been a wonderful performance by him, and I can't disagree with your choice at all, Luke. I agree with you entirely. I think he's played brilliantly today. Here's Harvey Elliott. Elliott plays the ball forward. He's looking for Cody Gakpo, but that's chested down well by Emil Kraft. And now here's Dan Burns, goes down under the challenge of Gakpo, and that looked more like a frustrated challenge than anything else, and it's going to be a free kick, as it's Guimaraes who is fouled. Actually, the Newcastle fans getting ready to have a party here as they are waving their scarves, waving their flags. This is a moment that they have waited for oh so long, and the ball is played forward now, looking for who's that over on the far side? It's Joe Willock, who's picked it up just down the left-hand side here. Willock now getting to the byline. Can he get the cross in? And it's a poor one. It goes out of play. But we are witnessing history today, Luke, if Newcastle can hold on. Their first trophy since 1969.
Yeah, they deserve it, to be honest. I've been really impressed with some of the play. They've been interchanging well, they've been moving the ball well. Physicality in midfield. I could have also picked out Tonali, to be fair. It was a toss-up between the two for player of the match. But yeah, honestly, the way they've controlled today has been absolutely amazing.
Well, the ball now is with the number 17, Curtis Jones. Back to Mo Salah. And to Elliott, who swings the ball in, looking for Darwin Núñez. Oh, he turns and shoots there. It breaks loose for Núñez. Can he get the shot in? It's blocked. Chiesa trying to get the shot in. Finally, it's brought down by Guimaraes, and he gives it to Joe Linton. Joe Linton holds the ball up with Joboslai. He releases the ball to Guimaraes, but he's dispossessed by Harvey Elliott. Oh, and it's through now. Real chance and a goal back for Liverpool. And it is Federico Chiesa, but he's offside. Oh, he's offside. It's not going to count. Let's take a look at this. And just for a moment there, well, he looks onside to me there, I have to say. If they review this, and they are reviewing it, to me he's onside by about half a yard there. I don't think this is going to take very long, Luke.
That's onside. To me, that is onside. I mean, I'm looking at that from the same angle you are. That is onside. I don't know how that cannot be given as a goal. So I'd expect that to be a goal back, which is mightily cruel on Newcastle. But yeah, I'd say that has to be given. Surely.
Yes. It looks like it was Shah that was playing him onside, actually. Dan Burn, rather. I don't know why they're taking so long to look at this. I can see this with one look. And I think finally now they are going to give the goal. So Federico Chiesa, the substitute, is going to pull one back for Newcastle. For Liverpool on 90 plus 3 minutes. And now we are going to be in for a very interesting last few minutes, Luke. This is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know what they're checking, to be honest. Get on with it. Like, it's obviously onside. It's obviously a decent enough goal. What are we still looking at here? Get on with it.
Well, I don't know either. I'm quite confused. Well, John Brooks has made the signal, but he hasn't pointed to the centre spot either. They're still talking about it. There's nothing to talk about. Why is this taking so long? The goal has been given, eventually. And a goal back for Liverpool and Federico Chiesa. And now we are going to have a very interesting last few minutes. Media, radio, jingles and gaming says it's clearly onside as well. That's a goal that can't be ruled out. Get on with the game. I agree. It just takes too long. We spotted it right from the replay. we could see it right away that it was onside. I'm not sure why the VAR people couldn't. Brought out the tram lines and everything. Alan Shearer looking a little bit frustrated, and the Newcastle fans now also looking a little bit frustrated. Oh, if they lose it now, what a heartbreaking moment it'll be for the Toon. It's cleared into the Liverpool half of the field, and just challenging Wilson there is Robertson. Good play by Robertson, puts the ball out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. And, well, goodness knows how much more time they're going to add on now from the original 8 minutes, Luke.
I timed that as about 2 minutes, so I think we'll be going till at least 100 minutes on the clock.
Well, it's a throw-in for Newcastle to be taken by Emil Kraft down that right-hand side. So level with the Liverpool penalty area, gives it to Guimaraes. Guimaraes will probably take it to the corner, but it's lots of bouncing around there. Finally, the ball goes out of play. Chiesa is upset that the throw-in has been given to Newcastle. And Newcastle just trying to keep the ball in the corner now, so as not to give Liverpool too much time. And Dan Burn there on the halfway line. Virgil van Dijk is up there. It's a foul there and a free kick to Liverpool. They're fighting to win the ball back, and that's kicked the ball away from Guimaraes. That'll surely be a yellow card, seeing as though Declan Rice got sent off for something similar earlier on in the season. No, not even a yellow card. That's consistency for you. The ball is cleared into the Liverpool half. Federico Chiesa has in fact got a yellow card though. Here is Sandro Tonali and Joe Willock. Joe Willock taking it to the corner flag. Smart play by Willock. And he plays it off. Now it's Kwanzaa. And it's going to be a corner to Newcastle. So yellow card for Federico Chiesa. Well, Luke, these are tight moments for this Newcastle team. A yellow card also waved in the face of Sandro Tonali. And, well, all of a sudden he's become very yellow card happy, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I don't quite understand. He knows they're going to time waste. Like, just get on with it. Like, it's nearly done. Don't know what the yellow cards are needed for.
JB says VAR is a joke. The goal was correct, but why did it take 2 minutes when it's so obviously onside? JB, that's the burning question. I think me and Luke were asking the same thing. It was so obviously onside. We saw it from the first. We saw it from the first replay. JB says book for tying laces. Well, this is a Premier League now, isn't it? Still in that corner there, and it's Callum Wilson just holding the ball up now, making it very difficult for Liverpool. Sandro Tonali keeping the ball in the corner as well, and Bruno Guimaraes now has it. Finally, Liverpool are able to clear the ball. We've played almost 100 minutes. How much longer does this game have? The ball is played long. Chested down well there by Mohamed Salah. Looking for the ball over the top to Darwin Núñez. And finally, it's with Joel Linton. He plays the ball forward. And now Callum Wilson is away. Callum Wilson, he's got Szoboszlai alongside him. He's just going to take it in the corner. And that is a really experienced play by Callum Wilson. But Liverpool win the ball back. And it's Mo Salah. The ball just bounces off, I think that is off Bruno Guimaraes there, and then cleared out of play by Nick Pope. Surely it's almost done. Surely it's almost over. Surely Newcastle's time is upon us. John Brooks now, what's he doing? He's going over to speak to somebody. He's going over to speak to Nick Pope over something or nothing. And Harvey Elliott is down actually on the edge of the area. Now, this is going to be very interesting. because we are right at the end of the game. And the whole Newcastle bench are on their feet right now as Coivan Kelleher launches the ball forward. The heads go up, it's flicked on by Van Dijk. Joel Linton there once again, like the Rockies been all day, and it's full time! And Newcastle United have won their first major trophy since 1969, their first domestic trophy since 1955. What a moment! What a red letter day for Newcastle! What a time for Newcastle United this season! They finally got the job done, and they've collapsed some of the players to their knees to celebrate. Bruno Guimaraes looks like he's in tears there, but Newcastle United can celebrate. What a moment for Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall as Newcastle celebrate this victory. And there is Alexander Isak celebrating their scorer of the second goal. And Luke, talk us through that performance by Newcastle.
Yeah, well, they've come out, they've took the game to Liverpool. They basically bossed the whole of that game. Defensively, they were solid. Midfield owned the majority of that game. Creatively, they were more on point. And I have to say, they really deserved that today. That was an insane performance. Tonali, Joe Linton, Guimaraes, that is a brilliant performance. I've been really impressed with the whole way that they set that up. The goals, Dan Burn flicking it into the other corner from the corner, that was brilliant again. Mismatch from McAllister. And again, the second goal, ball out to Livramento over to Murphy, and then back to Isak. The whole performance was just totally what it is to go and challenge a side that's like Liverpool at the top of the league.
And you can see that one of the reporters is interviewing Bruno Guimaraes there, and look at him, he's so emotional with this. JB says, well done Newcastle, I'm so thrilled for them. Media radio jingles and says, after a wait of 56 years, Newcastle have done it. He's so pleased to see that this a moment of history, not just for Newcastle but for football as well. And honestly, that was absolutely sensational for Newcastle today. A great job for them, a great day for their fans. They will be partying the night away. We will be bringing you the presentation of the trophy real soon, but for the time being, let's head back to Russ Vernon in the studio.
Thank you very much there, Paul James and Luke Turton, for excellent coverage on this game this afternoon for the 2025 EFL Cup final. Newcastle winners, and what a game it was indeed there. Bruno Guimaraes looks like he's in tears out there this evening, and what a game, what a performance that was from Newcastle United. Deserved winners overall in the end. But my oh my, what a game that has been this evening. Fantastic game from start to finish. It had everything. Newcastle put their bodies on the line towards the end and had to hold on to make a decision to try and hold on in the end when Chiesa pulled one back, and they made the correct calls to keep the ball in the corner and win the game. Some celebrity fans, Anton Decker, are partying in Wembley. They've been there this evening cheering on their beloved Newcastle United to victory tonight. Also in the crowd was Alan Shearer as well, the former Newcastle United striker. What a day they would have had with their families this evening, and you could see what it meant to have celebrities Anton Deck when they scored the two goals. You could see them celebrating together with their families, massive hugs all around, and not just them, also with the Shearer family as well, who's there this afternoon for this, been there this evening for this game today. Before we get ready for the trophy presentation, I'm going to bring in Luke Turton. And Luke, you gave Joel Linton your player of the match today. There could have been so many candidates. Bruno Guimaraes, Isak, Barnes, Tonali, Dan Burn, all putting stellar performances. But why did you go for Joel Linton over the many players I've just mentioned there?
I think, to be fair, it was really hard to pick between Joe Linton, Tonali, and Dan Burn. I opted for Joe Linton in the end, mainly for the amount of blocks, the amount of passionate things he was doing when he got up. He was really trying to G the crowd up a lot more after every time he won a ball, won a tackle, just going forward immensely. And I mean, it was literally swinging between Tonali and Joe Linton throughout the whole of the game, and it literally was like a flip of a coin. Whichever one I picked, the other one really was very, very close second.
Yes, absolutely. And Liverpool just weren't their day today. At the start of the season, they probably thought they could have had a quadruple, 4 trophies. They're out of the FA Cup. That went down the line when they got knocked out by Plymouth Argyle. They went out to the Champions League to PSG in midweek. That went out of the line. They've just lost in the Carabao final to Newcastle United. That's gone down out of the line. He's now resting all on the Premier League title. Arsenal pulled the gap back earlier on today with a victory over Chelsea in the Premier League title race. We would have to say, Luke, it's probably Liverpool who are going to end up just winning 1 trophy and be in the Premier League in the end of this season after a performance like they're putting today.
Yeah, Liverpool for me were abysmal. I mean, for the amount of talent they have in their side, it was lackluster. They literally had no drive whatsoever, and they didn't turn up. I mean, it took Chiesa to come on to actually get them a goal back, and to be honest, that's really harsh on that Newcastle performance. But again, I just do not understand how a side at the top of the Premier League and trying to get all these trophies can be in a final and put in that sort of performance. I mean, honestly, Newcastle wanted it more and they got it. Liverpool didn't want it and they didn't get it.
Absolutely, Luke. Absolutely. Indeed. And Paul, just give us your overall thoughts on the game today. You've just heard Luke's thoughts there. I thought it was a fantastic game. Newcastle thoroughly deserved winners, in my opinion. Completely dominated Liverpool from start to finish. What did you make to that today?
I was really impressed with the way Newcastle were defensively. They were finally opened up in stoppage time by Federico Chiesa's goal. They deserved a clean sheet, in fairness. I thought they played very, very well. The movement forward was really, really good. They dominated the midfield battle. They absolutely dominated the midfield battle, and I absolutely agree with Luke's decision for man of the match and giving it to Joel Linton. He's played very, very well. Sandro Tonali, of course, could have been the other one. But yes, what a superb performance today by Newcastle. They fully deserve that in the end.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. Absolutely, my friend. And like people have said, like Mini Radio Jingles and Gaming has said in the chat, and so too our good friend JB this afternoon as well. Anton Deck, they'll be partying the night away. And you, while I mentioned it as well, Paul, Newcastle fans will be partying all the way in London tonight. They'll probably be having to book tomorrow morning. Some Newcastle fans will be having to book tomorrow morning off work with sore heads potentially with after winning the trophy today. Fantastic for Newcastle in the end and a fully deserved victory. If I were to ask you, Paul, you obviously said Luke made a brilliant call with Tonali as Joe Linton as the player of the match today, but some of the players that I thought stood out today for Newcastle, in my opinion, were Guimaraes, Dan Burn, Isak, Barnes, Tonali, Joe Linton, Trippier as well. What do you make to say Dan Burns' performance at the back today again, keeping the likes of Salah, Jota, Diaz, Nunes all quiet?
Well, they were all very good, down to a man. Every single one of them played very, very well, and that's why I said to Luke I didn't envy the fact that he was incumbent to choose the player of the match today. It was always going to be a very tough challenge picking one of those Newcastle players because all of them were brilliant to a man, every single one of them.
Yes, absolutely, guys, absolutely, indeed. will unfortunately not have time for the trophy presentation this evening on our coverage of the Carabao Cup this evening, as we need to get ready to go across to get ready for our next live offering in around about 15 minutes time right now. So we're going to leave our coverage of the 2025 EFL Cup final right here for you. Big thank you to Paul and Luke for their coverage on the Carabao Cup final. Thank you to you, the listeners, as well. If you want to join us back very shortly for some Premier League action on this Sunday afternoon and evening, do join us very soon. But until then, Mola team here. It's a goodbye for now.